Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where we have too many stories for Monday, so we might as well drop an extra episode. This is Ballot.
That's right. With the debate on Tuesday, most of these stories will go stale. So let's collect some sweet mid-roll advertising money. Let's hit this. It looks like the political world just got flipped upside down faster than a pancake at an IHOP. Dick Cheney, the man who once shot a friend in the face and made him apologize, has decided to aim his political firepower at Donald Trump instead. In a plot twist that would make M. Night Shyamalan jealous, Cheney's throwing his support behind Kamala Harris. That's right. The architect of the Iraq War is now on Team Democrat. I guess hell really did freeze over, and pigs are currently doing loop-de-loops over Washington. Cheney called Trump the greatest threat to our republic in our nation's 248-year history. Coming from a guy who practically wrote the book on being a political boogeyman, that's like Darth Vader calling someone else too evil. Meanwhile, Trump's response was about as mature as you'd expect. I'm surprised he didn't add neener at the end. Liz Cheney, not to be outdone by her dad, unleashed a verbal smackdown on Trump and JD Vance, calling them misogynistic pigs. I guess in the Cheney household, that's what passes for dinner table conversation. The Harris campaign, probably pinching themselves to make sure they're not dreaming, said there deeply respects his courage to put country over party. Translation: holy cow, did Dick Cheney just endorse us? Quick, someone check if the sky is falling. Trump took to Truth Social, you know, that bastion of free speech where the truth goes to die, to warn us all about the dangers of unscrupulous behavior. That's rich coming from a guy whose idea of scruples is deciding whether to have 2 or 3 scoops of ice cream for dessert. He's promising to prosecute anyone who cheats in the 2024 election. I guess he's finally found a way to get his family some quality time together. And let's not forget his favorite catchphrase, "When I win." It's like he's trying to manifest victory through caps lock. Next, he'll be telling us he can change election results by clicking his heels 3 times and saying, "There's no place like Mar-a-Lago." But wait, there's more. Trump's hit list includes lawyers, political operatives, donors, and even illegal voters. I'm pretty sure he just described his entire 2016 campaign team. And don't worry, corrupt election officials, you're on the naughty list too. It's like Santa's list, but instead of coal, you get a free stay at Club Fed. Anyway, I'm glad the list doesn't involve podcasters, and I want to remind everyone what a handsome, well-hung, smart, generous man Donald Trump is, with great hair. Well, folks, it looks like we've got ourselves a regular political circus, and JD Vance is trying to walk a tightrope without a net. Let's dive into this 3-ring spectacle, shall we? In one corner, we've got Tucker Carlson, the bow-tie enthusiast turned conspiracy theorist, giving a platform to a guy who thinks the Holocaust was just a big oopsie-daisy. Because nothing says responsible journalism like rewriting one of history's greatest atrocities as an accidental spring break gone wrong. Then we've got JD Vance, Trump's running mate, and apparently the world's most reluctant fact-checker, refusing to denounce this historical revisionism. His stance? We believe in free speech and debate. Sure, JD. And I believe in unicorns and calorie-free chocolate. Vance's campaign is basically saying, we don't agree with the crazy, but we'll hang out with it anyway. Yeah, I made that mistake once. The sex was good, but now she won't stop texting me. It's like saying, I don't believe in flat earth theory, but I'll still go to their conventions for the free snacks. So there you have it, folks. JD Vance is still planning to chat with Tucker Carlson on the 21st, presumably to discuss whether the moon landing was faked and if Elvis is still alive. It looks like JD Vance has solved the child care crisis. And his revolutionary solution is... Grandma. That's right, forget about policy reforms or increased funding. Just call up old Nana and tell her to dust off her apron. Vance's groundbreaking plan seems to be, hey, you know that relative who's been dying to spend more time with your screaming toddler? Let's guilt them into free labor. Because nothing says fiscal responsibility, like exploiting family bonds for economic gain. But wait, there's more. If you don't have a convenient grandparent lying around, Vance has another ace up his sleeve. His solution? Make it easier for people who love kids to become daycare workers. Because apparently, the only thing standing between little Timmy and quality care is a pesky, ridiculous certification that has nothing to do with taking care of kids. You know, trivial things like first aid, child development, or knowing how to stop a toddler from eating glue. Vance seems to think childcare workers are currently required to have a 6-year college degree. I hate to break it to you, JD, but most states don't even require a bachelor's degree for childcare workers. It's almost as if he's not quite, what's the word, informed? Meanwhile, social media users are having a field day. One person pointed out that they want grandma to work until she's 72. So how exactly is she supposed to babysit? I guess in Vance's world, retirement is just a fancy word for unpaid childcare provider. Then there was Vance winning at America's favorite game show. Who can say the most tone-deaf thing about gun violence? Today's contestant, JD Vance. Vance declared that school shootings have become a fact of life. Vance's solution to this fact of life isn't to address the root cause, oh no, it's to turn our schools into fortresses. Trump, not to be outdone in the empathy department, chimed in with his own pearls of wisdom. It's a sick and angry world, and we're going to heal our world. Well, thank goodness for that. I was worried we'd have to rely on actual policy changes or something crazy like that. Meanwhile, Trump is trying to modify the 25th Amendment. I guess when you can't beat him, you just rewrite the Constitution, right? It's like he's playing Monopoly and decided to add a get out of vice president free card. Our spray-tanned constitutional scholar wants to make it easier to boot out a VP who lies or engages in a conspiracy. I'm sorry, did Trump just accidentally advocate for his own removal? That's like Colonel Sanders campaigning against fried chicken. He's claiming there's a cover-up of Biden's mental state. Coming from a guy who thinks windmills cause cancer and that we should nuke hurricanes, that's rich. It's like the pot calling the kettle orange. Well. Looks like there's trouble brewing in the land of sequins and touchdowns, folks. Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes, once the dynamic duo of the Chiefs' kingdom, are now playing musical suites faster than Travis Kelce runs routes. Picture this. Arrowhead Stadium, September 5th, 2024. The Chiefs are facing off against the Ravens, but all eyes are on the VIP suites. Why, you ask? Well, usually you'd find Taylor and Brittany side by side, cheering on their men and serving up more chemistry than a high school science fair. But this time, they're in separate suites, looking about as comfortable as a vegan at a BBQ contest. Now let's rewind a bit. Turns out, Brittany Mahomes, wife of quarterback extraordinaire Patrick Mahomes, decided to play a little game of Like That Post with none other than Donald Trump's Instagram. The post in question? A lovely little listicle titled, "Make America Great Again," featuring greatest hits like keeping men out of women's sports and cutting funding for critical race theory. You know, just your average, everyday, non-controversial political stance. Swifties, being the eagle-eyed detectives they are, caught wind of this faster than you can say anti-hero. Twitter exploded like it was the 4th of July, with fans wondering how anyone could support a guy with more legal troubles than hit singles. Brittany, feeling the heat, fired back on Instagram with a post about haters and childhood issues. Because nothing says "I'm handling this well" like accusing your critics of needing therapy. Meanwhile, our girl Taylor's been quieter than a library during finals week. She hasn't endorsed anyone for 2024 yet, but let's just say she and Trump go together like pineapple on pizza. It's a hard no from her. So here we are back at Arrowhead, with Taylor and Brittany watching the game from different zip codes. Is this the end of Swiftany? Has politics finally tackled their friendship? Or is this just a timeout before they're back to twinning and grinning? Plus, Trump's over on Truth Social, thanking beautiful Brittany like she just won Miss MAGA. Swift, on the other hand, is probably writing her next hit. We are never ever getting back together, Stadium Suite Edition. Let's not forget Trump's AI-generated Swifties for Trump posts. Because nothing says stable genius like fake fan art of a pop star who publicly despises you. Portions of today's program were made with the help of AI and the Tortured Poets Society.